Sorry, I took the opportunity today. Yali Mother to all friends. We will formally start our session. Let me start with some zikr. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nur Maulana Shah Rahim Al Hussaini Hazri Imam. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal maula wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal maula wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal maula wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal maula wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal maula wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal maula wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal maula wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal maula wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal maula wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal maula wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal maula wa ni'mal nasir. Ya Maula Meherban, Ya Mushkil Kusha Meherban Maula. We have gathered here to read your Farmans, Maula. The pearls of treasure, Maula, you give us, Maula. Ya Maula, Ya Maula, Ya Maula. Let us realize the worth of it, Maula. Value it as it is ought to be valued, Maula. Ya Maula, Ya Maula. Help us understand and Maula. Be Farman Bardar of you, Maula. Ya Maula Meherban. Ya Mushkil Kusha Meherban Maula. Please help us, Maula. Ya Maula. Shukran lillah walhamdulillah. Shukran lillah walhamdulillah. Let me share my screen. So today we will be starting Farman number 45. And this Farman is also of Jama'at, Zanzibar, 1899, September 13th. हक मौलाना धनी सलामत दातार सरकार आका सुल्तान मोहम्मद शाह हाजरी मामनी मुलाकात लेवा जंग बाરના સુલતાન અરબી લિબાસમાં આવ્યા હતા. મૌલાના હાજરી ઇમામ પણ સુલતાનને અરબી લિબાસમાં મુલાકાત આપી. ને સુલતાનના રવાના થયા બાદ મૌલાના હાજરી ઇમામ એ જ અરબી લિબાસમાં જમાત ખાને પધાર્યા. એ વખતનો દેખાવ જેણે જોયું છે તેઓ કદી પણ વિસારી શકશે નહીં. મૌલાના હાજરી ઇમામ તખત ઉપર બિરાજમાન થયા અને ફરમાવ્યું, અલ્લાહુમ્મા સ્વલ્લી અલા મુહમ્મદ વ આલિ મુહમ્મદ. પીર સદરુદ્દીન બુદ્ધિવાન, દાના, સાચો અને બાતુનમાં પણ સાફ હતો. This is one of the most beautiful farmans, and in Farman class, this Farman is emphasized a lot because this is one of the Ruhani Farmans, and you really have to memorize and reflect, and the more you read, the more you understand this Farman. Now, in this Farman, the strange part is that at that time, the Sultan of Zanzibar had come to meet Maula in Arabic, attire. And Maula also meet with him in Arabic attire. And after that, Maula comes to Jamaat Khana to bless the Jamaat with Didar, and then he gives this farman. And the first line which Maula gives, it is full of pearls, full of treasure for us to really reflect and understand. Maula tells us about our Pir Sadruddin, that he was Buddhiwan, he was intelligent, he was wise, he was honest, and he was pure, clean, pak in his batin. These are four attributions which Pir Sadruddin had. Now, when we go further, why Maula is praising Pir Sadruddin, we will come to learn that. But we, especially the Jamaat from Pir Sadruddin's tradition, this is the gentleman whose attributes are being told to us. This is the person who had helped our ancestors to, come back to Islam, because history tells us that it is not that Islam was not there in Indo-Pak, but, people had lost it. And then again, when Pir Sadruddin came in, smileys were made. And we all are from that tradition. That's why we love our Ginans and we have our languages and we have our culture. But we have to realize that our Ma-Bap, our Pir Ma-Bap, the way we say it, it is Pir Sadruddin who did the hard work to help us be here today with Sharahi. So we have to realize the ihsan, we have to have the gratitude for this Pir who had worked so hard for us. Have we ever thought about this gentleman, our Pir? What attributions did he have? And why was he successful? All these points we have to reflect, because those who are in the knowledge journey, our task is to reflect, become very deep, reflective people. Because with reflection, that is the first stage of entering into Ruhaniyat. The way we learn that those who want to walk on this path, they talk less, they use less word. When you speak less, what do? You think. If you're not doing zikr, and if you are, someone who is very mindful and reading Farman or books of our Buzruk Deen, what would you do after that? You would reflect. What is being said to me? Am I truly understanding it? This one line, this one sentence requires hours of reflection. That Pir Sadruddin was, intelligent, wise, honest, and pure. And then Mola continues to guide us and says, Koi pan khojo hase, te kehse ke Pir Sadruddine khoja બનાવેલ છે. તે પીર સદરુદ્દીન પણ તમો ખોજાઓનો દીન બંધો હતો. તમે પણ મહેનત કરી પીર સદરુદ્દીન જેવા થાઓ. Very beautifully, Imam is saying that if you ask any khoja, they will say it was Pir Sadruddin who made us khoja, who made us smiles. And Pir Sadruddin, Mola says that he was a brother like you. He was a mu'min like you. If you were to work hard, you can also become like Pir Sadruddin. Now that is something requires a lot of reflection. We have the same soul which Pir Sadruddin had, coming from the ocean. We have Isme Azam, which Pir Sadruddin had. We have Qur'an, which Tawil we have to learn and we are learning, which Pir Sadruddin had learned. What was the difference? And Mola is actually asking us to reflect by saying that it was Pir Sadruddin who made khojas, who helped, our ancestors to accept Smiley tarika. If you were to work hard, you can become like Pir Sadruddin. Can we become like Pir? Big question. Big question. Are we worthy enough? Mola says you are. Do we think we are worthy? Are we capable? We doubt it. Mola says you are capable. So we have to really reflect that what Mola is telling us. He's guiding us that you are capable of becoming Pir. Now, those friends who know Hudud-e-Din now, in the rank of Hudud-e-Din, after Dai comes Pir. If we all are Dais, with Hukum of Imam, we all are Dais, then who is the Pir? The rank as per se has been merged with Imam. We saw that at Takht Nashini. Remember, Hudud-e-Din are in Batin. They are not Zahid. Nobody will have that rank because ranks in the time of Qiyamah has been merged with Imam. But in Batin, these ranks do exist because it is a ladder actually. We are climbing the ladder. When somebody says, I want to learn this knowledge, they are mustajib automatically. But nobody calls them mustajib. They themselves, they say that I'm learning, I'm student. And in Batin, if they are sincere, they work hard, they continue to elevate their ranks. It's a ladder, so they continue to climb up. Some people stay on one ladder, they don't want to move up. Sometimes people go down as well. But the ladder, the objective of the ladder is to climb up. And we have this ladder of Hudud-e-Din. And somebody continues to climb, as our Pir did, they merged with Imam. They became one with Imam. Can we become one with Imam? Maula's guidance is right in front of us. Anyone, Maula says, whose Khoja will say that Pir Sadruddin made us, smiley Khoja. And we, if we were to work hard, we can become like him. And Imam has already given us his attribution. We have to remember that because these attributions matter. We have to really, really reflect. The attributions are that he was intelligent. Number one, intelligent. Are we dumb? Why Mola is telling us? Remember, we have talked about intellect. We all have worldly intellect. We are very intelligent. But when it comes to religious intelligence, do we have that? Our Pir had that. That's what Imam is saying. So have we nourished, developed, nurtured our intellect to become intelligent? Number one, he was wise. Where does wisdom come from? Actually, it starts with intellect. Intellect, makes us wise if we become intelligent. So what is the underlying message? Seek knowledge. Nourish your intellect. When you become intelligent, it will lead you to become wise as well. And those who are on this path, they want to follow the ethics. They want to follow the ethics. Recently, I was talking to a youth, and this youth says, it is so hard, the ethics you describe, they are so difficult. In this world, I wonder if there is anybody who's ethical. And my simple answer was, if that would be the case, there would not be any believers. कोई ईमान ही होगा ही नहीं. Right? So yes, ethics are so difficult. But the more we learn, the more we understand, the more wise we become. We know how to follow the ethics, how to be sincere and honest, and become pure in our batin. Superficially, physically, we can shower and say, oh, we are clean, pure. But that is not the purity we are seeking. We are seeking the purity in our batin. Remember Pir's Ginan? Kapda dhove so kya hua? Dil dhove so paave. So it is the purity of our batin, how pure we are inside us, in our thoughts, in our level of the soul, in level of our thoughts, inside, all which is invisible to others. Then Mola guides us and says, તમે એમ કરો કે જેમ પીર સદરુદ્દીને મહેનત કરી તેના જેવી મહેનત કરો તો તમે પણ પીર સદરુદ્દીન જેવા થઈ જશો. મહેનત એ ન ગણાય કે તમે જમાતખાનામાં દુઆ પढ़વા આવો. એ કામ તો ઘણું જ આસાન છે. Mola guiding us, saying that if you were to work hard, because P. Sadruddin had worked hard. If you work hard, you will become like P. Sadruddin. There is no doubt. Right? When Imam is saying, there is no doubt. If you were to work hard, Mola says, then you will become like P. Sadruddin if you were to work hard just like him. It is not the hard work that you come to Jamaat Khana to say your dua. That is very easy. That is very easy. Why would Mola say that? In today's time, it is not that easy to go to Jamaat Khana to say dua both times. It is not that easy. The world has become such that it is not that easy. So it is not the physical action of going to Jamaat Khana. It is our thoughts. What I mean to say here, that those who regularly go to Jamaat Khana, morning and evening, they may have that thought that they are doing everything right and they are very pure and ethical and they got this all. Imam is saying, no, you haven't, because that is very easy. To follow physical kirya is very easy. It is what is inside that matters the most. So physically, anyone who goes to Jamaat Khana, Jamaat, there are people who have come to, shared with me that I listen to this lady because I see her every day in the morning, Jamaat Khana. And when you talk to realize that they have misled them completely. Why did you do as they were telling you? Because she comes to Jamaat Khana every morning. She never misses Jamaat Khana. That is the criteria. Jamaat who does not have knowledge follows. I'm not saying it is not important to go to Jamaat Khana, but I'm trying to make a point. I hope you're understanding me. Imam is saying that if you were to go to morning and evening Khane, it is very easy task, but it is extremely difficult to purify your soul and nourish your intellect. It is very difficult to be pure in your batin. So no one should keep this as a criteria that physically going to Jamaat Khana suffice. Physically going to Jamaat Khana, people are very, good mu'mineen, because that's not the criteria according to Imam. According to Imam. So we have to be mindful, because if you go to Jamaat Khana, there may be this influence of self-righteousness, right? So there are so many things we have to reflect and realize, why would Imam say like that? That it is easy to go to Jamaat Khana. Oh, I was in morning Khana, so I didn't do it. Immediately we are made realize that I woke up, so I didn't do this, or I did, we all go through that. It is not an action of Mu'min to sing the song of their praises. They always downplay them, because that's the action of humility. If you do that, then you are inviting shaitan, or you're bragging about yourself. Here, this is not the mehfil of those where we brag about ourselves. We comfortably talk about our, ashamed feelings, our embarrassment. What did we not do? In the worldly gathering, you have to brag. But this is not the gathering of worldly people. These like-minded soul friends people, right? Those mu'mineen who are interested in knowledge and they want to climb further in this ladder. They are not interested in the worldly things. They live in the world, but that's not their target or objective. So Mola is guiding us that if you were to work hard like Pir Sadruddin, then you can also become like him. And it is easy if someone thinks that they are coming to Jamaat Khana morning and evening, and that will help them to become like Pir Sadruddin, you are mistaken. You are mistaken. Because we have not understood Pir Sadruddin if we think only morning and evening Jamaat Khana attendance is the main criteria. He was intelligent, wise, honest, and pure in his batin. This is batini journey. Yes, attendance to Jamaat Khana is important. We never undermine that. But that is not the only thing. So we have to reflect wherever we are, whoever we are, whatever situation we are in, whatever our thoughts are, it should be challenged and realize. We have to reflect where we are and what do we need to do better. હકીકતી જો ખુદામાં વાસલ થવાની મકસદ સમજે તો તરત મારફતને પામે છે. Now remember, whenever we see the word hakikati, we have to realize that Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah's Faramin are very clear. Imam will talk about insan, Imam will talk about Mu'min, and Imam will talk about hakikati Mu'min. So here he says hakikati. Those who know what is hakikat. They are not just the ones who do physical kriya and think they are doing everything. They are hakikati. Those who are hakikati and they understand. Maqsad ne samjhe. Samaj is intellect. Those who will understand that what does it mean to be fana, to be wasil in Imam, to become one with him. Fana. We all seek fana. Become one with him. Merge with him. And the word merging versus annihilation helps us understand that it is not physical death. After fana, there is baka. It is the death of our carnal soul, the spiritual death. Hakikati is the one who understands what does it mean to become one with Imam, to merge with Imam. Because it is all about merging. Whenever we use the word annihilation or wasal, there is this misunderstanding that everything will happen when we die physically. If we are dead physically, after that, there is nothing in our control. Whatever control we have, it is while living. So, Wasle Janan ki kasam, right? We hear it in Urdu poetry beautifully, that we want to be one with our beloved. That has to happen during the lifetime, right? Where we are alive and we can enjoy the pleasures of merging. Very physical language as per se, but it has meaning in batin as well, right? It is hakikati who with the knowledge, with hakikati knowledge, understands this hakikat. How and what does it mean to become one with him? He is in that recognition. Marifat is recognition, and that is through intellect, through knowledge. So it is through knowledge, Mola says, that you will realize what is it to become one with beloved. Pir Sadruddin खुदा ने नजदीक હતો તે ખુદાને નજદીક સમજતો હતો. તેને યકીન હતો કે ખુદાથી નજીક છું. તેને કદી પણ બુરો કામ કર્યો નથી. Again, Mola brings us to same point, emphasizing the purity in batin, not physical, purity in batin. Maula is again giving us the example of our Pir Mai Bap. The Pir was very close to Imam. Remember, we just talked about being wasal, being merging, right? He was very close to Imam. He was one with Imam. But he used to think that he is close to Imam. Two different things. Imam is telling us that he was one with Imam. He was close to Imam, but he used to think that he was close to Imam. Then a yaqeen hatu. He was, in firm belief that he was close to Imam. Why? Why was he thinking and believing? Because if he was with Imam and Imam was close to him, Imam was watching him. وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ. Wherever you are, Imam is with you. If Imam sees us, how would we do any bad deed? This requires reflection. And if we understand that, we will immediately understand what it means when Mola says that Pir was pure in his batin. Pir was pure in his batin. પીર સદરુદ્દીન એકલો જતો હતો ત્યારે પણ સમજતો હતો કે ખુદા મારી પાસે છે. જે કોઈ ખુદાને હાજર સમજે છે તેને માટે પણ હિંમત છે. P. Sadruddin used to go on, work or walk or whatever. Whenever he was alone, he always thought that he's not alone. Mawla is with him. Exactly believing the words which we recite as zikr, وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ. He's with us wherever we are. He's watching us. We remember this verse in terms of Mawla is helping me. But have we ever reflected that when we are not, thinking of him or doing bad deeds or doing, worldly things without his name in our heart, what about that time? Here, Imam is drawing our attention to that time, that Pir, because of that belief, he would never do any bad deed. And then Imam is explaining to us that if someone realizes, recognizes, remembers that Imam is Hazir and Mawjud all the time, then how and why would they do any bad deed or bad thought? And if somebody does do that, follows this farman, the intellect becomes pure. તમે તમારા માતા પિતાને દેખતા ખરાબ કામ કરી શકશો નહીં, તેમજ ખરાબ શબ્દો પણ બોલી શકશો નહીં. જે ઇન્સાન ખુદાને પોતા પાસે હાજર સમજે છે તે ખરાબ કામ કરી શકતો નથી. તેમ બધા કામમાં એ પ્રમાણે સમજવું જોઈએ. Again, Mola emphasizes that if a child is there and his parents are watching, they will not do anything wrong because parents are watching. Similarly, the human who thinks that my God, my Lord is watching me, they will not do bad deed. Remember that thinking first is insan, become human, not be animal, become human, then become momin, and then become hakikati. And then Mola says, Tem badha kama e parmane samajhu જોઈએ. All our works our thoughts should be like that. જે ઇન્સાન મોમન છે તેના સર્વે કામ સાફ હોવા જોઈએ. મોમનના ખ્યાલ, વિચાર અને બાતુન સર્વે સાફ જોઈએ. મોમિન માટે આ વાજબ છે. Again, look at Imam's word. જે ઇન્સાન મોમિન છે. Now this human who is no more behaving like an animal, we review the Quranic verses about that, right? So they are humans, they are not animals. And they're striving to go further. Remember, there's a CD, right? They are desiring to be momin and go further. Their all work are clean, pure. Why? Because their thoughts are focused on purifying themselves inside, internally, in their batin. If you are a Mu'min, it is compulsory upon you to do this practice. No more insan. Now you become Mu'min, it is compulsory. How beautifully Imam constantly, in just this small para, has shown us darjat, that ilm is in darjat, progressing in darjat. It is, our religion is based on darjat. તમારો દીન કેટલા મુદ્દા ઉપર ઊભો રહ્યો છે, કેટલા મુદ્દા ઉપર આધાર રાખે છે, તમારા દીનનો પાયો નેક આમાલ ઉપર રહેલો છે. Now, Mola is again guiding us about pillars, that our deen is on pillars. Now, we are not talking about pillars of Islam, but here what Imam is guiding us, that our deen, which we don't see as per se, but there are foundation, there are pillars there on which this deen is standing. And then Imam asks, do you know? And then Imam replies himself, Tamaro deen no payo nek amal upar rahelu che. It's pure deeds which are the pillars for our deen. Now remember, when we talk about pillar, we have to understand that we look at this heavens or sky, and we don't see any pillar, but it is there. Similarly, in Quran also it talks about pillars like that. But here in this Farman, Maula is guiding us that if we strive to follow this Farman, if we want to become like our Peer and go further than that, then we have to understand these invisible pillars. Because if our personality, our self, we want ourselves to become close to Imam, we have to climb up this invisible ladder of Hudud-e-Din. We have to create and build these invisible pillars, which are made through Nek Amal, good deeds. Now, what are those pillars? આંખોની નજર સાફ રાખવી, સત્ય બોલવું, સાચાઈથી ચાલવું, નેક આમાલ કરવા. Very important guidance. First, purify your eyes. Now, if you want to understand the deeper understanding of purifying our eyes, meaning, in other words, we are seeking the light for our eyes. And this is what we have learned in Dua-e-Nur. There are lectures about Dua-e-Nur in which we go into detail about how and what it means to purify our eyes, to have light in our eyes. Detailed lectures. So we are not going to go into that detail, but remember that Imam is teaching us here Dua-e-Nur as well. To purify our eyes, to receive the light from our eyes. And that's what Dua-e-Nur is. Our Prophet used to say this dua after morning ibadat. Allahumma ja'li nuran fi qalbi wa nuran fi sam'i wa nuran fi basari. Give me light in my heart, in my ears, and in my eyes. This is one of the entry point, and we need light to enter, nothing else. For that, we need to purify our eyes so the light can enter. No matter 1,000 times we say Dua-e-Nur, seeking light for our eyes, but if we have not done the prior work, meaning to purify, to clean the eyes, if eyes are not clean, how are we going to receive the light? And light is like, Nur. We need to understand purest form. And some days ago, we were discussing with friends that, if you have a clean glass of water, just take one drop of dirty water, the whole glass is going to become dirty. Whole glass. But if you have a glass of dirty water, do you know when it will become pure? Constant pouring of pure water and that dirty water coming out. It will take time. It will take time for the dirt to come out of that glass, and that glass remains only filled with clean water. So understand the difference that when a mu'min is salik, the one who walks on the path, the way there's another farman Mawla has given. Um, um, uh, in Gujarati, Mawla says that mu'min પોતાની ઈમાનની હિફાજત એવી રીતે કરે છે જેવી રીતે એક ચોર પોતાની માણસ પોતાના ખજાનાની હિફાજત કરે છે, something like that. Mawla says that if you are a mu'min, you have to like firmly protect your iman. You have to really protect your iman. It requires protection. Just like giving the example of a worldly man who is keeping his valuables, his jewels and everything in safe, keeping in the safe numbers and keeping it pure, hidden, protected, so nobody can steal it. A mu'min exactly behaves in the same way for protection of his iman. We have worked very hard to come here to have this glass of clean water. We do not want even a drop of dirty water to enter in it. We don't. And for that, we need this knowledge to protect us. Panha ya Mawla, Aman ya Mawla. We seek his protection. So remember that if we are seekers of this light, because it is this eyes, the Batni eyes, will help us see the miracles, majizat, dreams and whatnot. All happens through the vision, right? Seeing of it. But if we are seeing impure things, if there is a dirt, if there is guna, napakizgi, it takes very long time to clean that glass of water which is now dirty. So remember, if we are walking on this path, the hard work we need to do to protect what we have earned. We are very poor. I am very poor. That's how I would say. Very poor. So we have to work hard to protect. Because if, this worry of protection comes to those when they have something, right? And if we are saying, Ya Ali, Ya Muhammad, we got to protect that it should not become impure. This tongue, which is doing the zikr, now this tongue cannot say anything bad because it is reciting the name of the Imam. So when we think like that, reflect like that, we will automatically stop ourselves from sinning. We will automatically stop ourselves from sinning. Satya bolo. Speak the truth. And yes, Tawil, when we talk about the meaning of it is staying in remembrance, staying all the time in Yadgiri protects us from using our tongue in a different manner. And when we speak the truth, but with wisdom, you must have known or seen this example that there are those who just speak without thinking. And they will say, oh, but I am right, I'm honest, I'm telling you the truth. But that's not the way of a wise man. So again, there is a difference when we talk about Satya Bolo, think before talking. And yes, we are not lying. We do not want to lie, right? Sachai thi chalu. Chalu, again, walking. And walking is relating to direction. Do I turn right side, left side, go backwards, front? Again, I'm relating it to Dua Nur, that it talks about directions. We seek light from all the direction. Everywhere we are seeking light. And Imam is telling us here, guiding us that we need to walk in honesty, in the right direction. Again, requires a lot of reflection. And it is not that we don't know these things, because these are simple, topics for today's Jama'at. They are. And there is lots of, knowledge which we have discussed in different classes, talking about how to be ethical. This is relating to taqwa, actually. And if you remember, we had done, taqwa in great discussion when we were doing Book of Hymn. Now we do it on Saturdays, global lectures. But we had done the chapter of taqwa and we had taken our long time. So it is all to do with taqwa, ethics of Islam. So remember, Imam is talking about pillars, that these are the pillars on which, our deen is standing. So we have to realize and understand that. આ પાયા ઉપર ચાલશો તો જમીન ઉપર પડી નહીં જાશો. Simple. If you will walk on this pillar, understand this pillar, then you will not fall down on the earth. Meaning what? Are we on the earth? No, we are not. What? Yes, we are not. Because earth is mustajib. And I believe those who are here, they're higher than mustajib, because you've been coming here regularly seeking knowledge. So do you think that your ranks are not elevated? If you're doing zikr, if you're seeking knowledge, you're working hard to purify yourself. So Mawla is not elevating your ranks? I believe he is. But then the condition is on us not to fall down on the floor. Because we are very poor. We have to take care of every step. When we've climbed up, we want to remain there. We don't want to fall down. I'm looking at the clock and time. Let us do this much, and then I have one slide to share with you. આપાયો માણસો કહે છે કે મરવા બાદ પુલસિરાત છે. મરવા બાદ. Very, very important. The worldly people, the people of the world, they think that it is all after death. એ વાત ખોટી છે. This is a lie. What people say, the people of the book, that when we will die, there will be two angels coming and taking our accounts, and if there is such a rubbish things, that the body in the grave will do this and do that if the accounts are good or bad. Long stories you would hear. Imam is saying, "E baat khoti che." Remember, people go into Tanzil and they start talking about elaborating on Tanzil. But we are seekers of Ta'wil. Imam is guiding us, actually giving us Ta'wil here and explaining to us. Tamari zindagi pulsirat che. Jindagi pulsirat che. દુનિયામાં દુનિયાના કામ પુલસિરાત છે. ખુદા કોઈ મદારી નથી કે ડોરી નાખીને તમને ખેંચે. તમારી હયાતીમાં જ પુલસિરાતને પાર કરવી જોઈએ. This is very, very important guidance for us. Very important. So first we understand that everything to do is during our lifetime. Everything is during our lifetime, and our worldly life is itself a test. The worldly life we are living, the worldly work we are doing, it's test. And then, very interestingly, Mola gives an example of Madari. Madari is the one, if you ever seen back home, I do not in the Western world, but let me explain, that you see in circus, right? I think circus, that you take animals and teach them, and they would jump or do this or do that, and people enjoy. It's entertainment, it's fun. So Madari used to be a person who would have a trained monkey. And this Madari will, trainer will make noises or do actions, and monkey will exactly do what the trainer is doing, asking them to do. Imam is relating Khuda with the example of Madari. And he says that Khuda is not Madari. Now we have to really, really reflect on that. When we say that we as humans and we as Ismailis, Imam is our guide and Imam is helping us and taking us to salvation. But he says that Khuda is not a Madari, meaning that if we follow the guidance like monkeys, Mullah is saying, do not lie, so we don't lie. Do this, or we do that. Meaning, we do exactly what our master is saying. without understanding. Because Madari is the one who trains animals. Are we animals? And are we just obeying farmans in terms of physical tabedari? And whenever this, Imam is giving example of this dory, meaning the monkey who is doing the, tricks and people are entertaining, but sometimes monkey misbehaves, right? So what Madari would do, he would pull on the rope. Don't misbehave. Come near me and do exactly what I'm saying. Imam is giving that example that Khuda is not Madari and he's not going to pull on that rope. We have to really reflect what Mola is guiding us here. Mola is then saying, Tamari hayati maj pul sirat ne par karvi join. Meaning, once we have lost this body, man ka janam ratan hai, tu kahe ko khota hai. Once we have died, the golden opportunity, the golden card we have of this breath, we have lost it. And then we expect the Madari to pull the rope and bring us near him. No, it's not going to happen. Even after death, there are darjat. Those who have worked hard during lifetime, they've remained focused. What is the objective and the purpose of my life is to do this. All other is false. All other is just illusion. Distraction, diversion. Do not get trapped by that diversion, distraction. It is this life, and we have to earn from this life. Because all the work of the worldly life are tests. But do not expect him to pull your rope after you have died. During your lifetime, if you listen to Farman and you say Tobo Tobo, there is an opportunity, there is a probability that he will forgive our sins because he's Ghafoor, he's Rahim. And he will help us again, push us again, elevate us again. But we have to be alive for that. We have to be, obeying the Farman with this physical body. Think that this world is truly a pul sirat, a path. When we say sirat al-mustaqim, it is a path like sword, right? When we have to walk. It is very hard to live the life in today's world. It is difficult. What challenges we do not have in this world? What tests we do not have? Everyone is going through different kind of tests, worries and fears and whatnot. But Momins remain focused and they continue to walk on this path. Now, this, I believe, we have not done justice to it. We have to really reflect. And let's say, let me share my slide because, okay, so I have not done that. No, okay. All right. So I just wanted to show you one of this slide. This is an extract of a speech made by Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah. And in this, I've just taken this part and it says here that religious principles of Ismailism are well known to you. For you have heard them from me through your fathers and grandfathers and from my father and grandfathers. Until I fear that by long familiarity with these teachings, some of you forget the necessity of re-examination of your heart and religious experience. We have been listening to these farmans, we have been listening to these teachings, but because we have listened to it so many times that we become numb to it. We have memorized it. Some of us, we have memorized these farmans in our farman classes, right? But then have we ever reflect? Do we go further in doing khayal or we just ratta? And Imam knows this. Imam says that you've heard these things from your parents and from your grandparents. You've heard this from my father's grandfathers. All Imam has been teaching us. If he became Ismail in Pir Sadruddin's time, imagine 600 years ago. These talimat have not changed since 600 years. How have we changed? Today we have progressed in the Western world. We are living comfortably, right? Very safe and secure, Shukr Mola, and not like our parents or grandparents, the way they were struggling financially, at least, living comfortably. But have we progressed in our batin? Or we have left that part of our life because it is common known our parents have done that, we don't need to worry about it. So we have to think all these thoughts and reflect and realize and come to this, conclusion and then what do we want from our life? What is our objective? What is the purpose? Why are we here? What do we want? And then work on that. Shukran lillah, walhamdulillah, shukran lillah, walhamdulillah.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. Once again, Maulana Sultan Ahmad Shah gives us a farman which requires a lot of thinking. As he mentions in his speech, the fact that we become too familiar with everything that he's raised with us, we then forget about that. And I suppose also the problem here is that all the actions that we have to take appear difficult for us, and therefore we tend to put them off. I will do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that is one of the things. Also, I wanted to mention that a lot of the points that Maulana Sultan Ahmad Shah raised in very detail were raised by Hazar Imam in the Nashini Farma.
Yes.
Yes. So telling us to remember, do our tasbihs whenever we have time, the fact that he's with us all the time, and so on. Yes. Yeah. We have a friend, Tazim Saiba. You want to? You have your hand raised.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm very grateful that I could attend your lecture today and I learned much more, a lot of reflection to be made. And I also had an encounter with our chairman of ITREB in Syria, and there's a question he asked me. I don't see a place of mine to answer this question of his. And he is in a dilemma because of this question. They have a controversy with Ismailis and Isnashris there. I mean, our Ismailis are thinking about it. So he said, Dear Tasmin Yali Madad, actually, I have a question about the prayer in the day of Takht Nashini. His English is not at par. He's still learning English. When we said the waiting imams until the day of judgment, so he's bolded, the waiting imams until the day of judgment. Do you have anybody how can write to me an explanation about the term waiting imams? I can't remember this, during time of Kashini, we were also very emotional. I can't, and I was very ill then. So I haven't even reflected so much of the work. I don't remember this part. So he said, do you have anybody, how can we write, who can explain about the term waiting imams? Then he says, from which perspective we are looking at this concept in the side of principles of Aqidah. I don't know what Aqidah means. And then he's saying, does it relate to the rope of Imamat or is it related to another aspect? First, I thought of Nurun ala Nur. And I was thinking that until the day of Qiyamah, we are going to have Imams coming. Like we had Maulana Shah Karim's Chuma changed to Maulana Shah Rahim. But then he brought up about maybe, like how is Nashi Savage before. I think you people would be the best ones to let me forward it to the group to guide me. I don't know how to help him here.
So number one, Tazmin, thank you for bringing your point, but it is not related to the Farman today discussion, but
Yes,
I understand that
yeah.
you're asking about waiting Imam,
Mm.
and Okay, so it seems that you have heard this probably in somewhere else, and you're bringing it.
No, he brought it up. I can't remember this. He's
Okay.
saying it was mentioned during the time of Takht Nashini, but I can't recall. I
No,
went,
I don't recall anything about
yeah.
waiting Imam in Takht Nashini.
Mm-hmm.
No, no. So he
Mm-hmm. Yes.
must have heard something somewhere, and he has to
Mm,
ask the source
mm,
um, to find about it. But
mm.
so I would stop it there because they need to ask
Okay,
the source where they heard it. It was
to
not in
get the
Takht
right.
Nashini. We all
Yes.
attended, and no, it was not mentioned in there.
Okay, that's a good one. Thank you so much. I will speak to him. And my number two was a request to you. The situation in Syria is quite bad right now with another there is this harmony and it's quite bad between Sunnis and Shah in the coastal regions.
So
And
your voice keeps going away, Tasmin. Stay near to the mic.
can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Uh, I would request all of you to set tasbihs for our Syrian Jamaat because they are in a jeopardy right now. We have 250,000 Jamaati members there. Most of the Ismailis are in Salamia and they are safe, Shukr Mullah. But this is happening in the coastal regions of Syria, where we have a lot of Ismailis, some portion of Ismailis who are in middle of it. There is a problem going on between Sunnis and Shias, and the Sunnis are the followers of Assad. There was a lot of massacres yesterday, generally. Our Ismailis are safe, but we don't know how far this is going to go. The new regime cannot cope because it was a military, it was a militia. They haven't still been able to organize themselves with the administration country-wise. The administration in Salamia was,
Shara, he
okay,
said it in his farman that
yeah.
he's going to, we received the duashis about security, and are very
Mm,
well aware. Northern
mm,
areas of Pakistan, Afghanistan, it is happening even in
mm, mm,
Islamabad and
mm,
Syria.
mm,
So we are
mm.
doing Zikr Tasbih. I hope you are
Okay.
participating at night time in Zikr Tasbih, where we are doing it on daily basis. If not,
For
I
me,
would
it's
welcome you to
5:15 in
join.
the morning, so I do participate as soon
Shukar
as I
Mola.
say
So
my
you're
dua.
aware that we are doing Zikr
Mm.
Tasbih, and Shukar Mola that we are doing Zikr, and I understand we have to always pray for Jamaat. Do you have any question related to the lecture?
No, lecture was very enlightening, and it is digging into the process of reflection for me. I'm reflecting from the time over the years, how much did I? In fact, there was a lot of reflection done when Maulana Shah Karim changed the Juma to Maulana Shah Rahim. A lot of regret that Mola, when you were there, why didn't I do so much more? Why didn't I do this? Why did it was very painful for me. But after this Farman, there's more reflection to be done of pros and cons on where can I improve and where I think I could have progressed a little bit. So it was very useful. Thank you very much.
Shukar Mola. Yeah, we all need to reflect. I agree with you absolutely. G.
Friends, any other questions, comments, reflections? We have some comments in the chat. One is about the Farman. Also, one Farman, Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah says, Magri. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher this.
This Farman, yeah, let me read it. Yeah, it is referring to a Farman of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, in which Maula actually says that do not be like a chicken who, hits her head on the floor all the time, like, working but not working in the right direction. So I'm sure we are going to discuss this Farman, and this friend has related it to, physically doing things like physical hazri of Jamaat Khana and whatnot, and not realizing the essence. So thank you for sharing that, iPhone.
Friends, any other questions, comments, reflections before we close the session?
And I see Minaz has sent a direct, no, she has sent again. First, she sent directly, okay, about 313 moment, right? 313 moment. Thank you, Munir. Uh, I do have a lecture of 313 moment. If you understand Minaz Gujarati, you can ask the admins they will give you those lectures which we have discussed about, why Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah has mentioned 313 moments. So you can benefit from that lecture. Is there any other question or comment?
It appears not. Thank you, Niamat Saba, once again for a wonderful session. Thank you, friends, for joining. And hopefully this is a reminder for us to reflect. And maybe next time we will have more reflections and questions. Thank you, and Yali Madad.
Yali Madad. Thank you, friends. Yali Madad. Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
Yali Madad, everybody stay blessed.
Yali Madad. Shukran Mola. Yali Madad.
Yali Madad. How can we access to the text of 313 moments?
Text? This is mentioned in the Farman, Tasmi.
Okay. And do we have the Farman which I can read?
Yeah, I mean, this Farman, this is published book. I hope you know that, right?
No, I don't know.
Imam Sultan Shah's Farman, wherever you are, I heard you're in Africa, aren't you? Where are you?
Kenya.
Kenya, right?
Nairobi.
Yeah, so if you contact your Somalia Association, you should be able to get this book. It's a published book for the Farmans which we are doing. The only difference is this is in English transliterated, but it is available in Gujarati. In Pakistan, it is available in Urdu as well. But if you are not able to find and you need this transliteration, you can contact our friends, admins, and they'll be able to help you out.
So what's the title? Sorry?
The link for the transliteration is in the
announcement. Yes, yeah. Thank you, Karim.
So on the same group, right?
Yeah, so you need to look carefully, so you'll find that. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yali Madad. Bye.
Yali Madad, Yali Madad.
Thank you, Yali Madad.
Yali Madad, Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.